Grand Rising and Grand Day family, and welcome back to Yvette's View. And today I want to talk about love. And I want to talk about what's love got to do with it, which is my topic. It's about love, befitting for this month. It's the so-called Love Month. It's also Black History Month. It's more for me, just love of my family, unity, connected to my family for the most part. So when that connection wasn't felt or received, I started questioning. Well, then what's love got to do with it? And it reminded me of things my dad would ask. My daddy is always in my forethought. So when I had to question that love, especially when it was coming from my family, I thought about him. Because he used to ask us, well, what is love? You guys go around talking this love. He said, I ain't felt, he told us he hadn't figured it out yet. So he said, when y'all figure it out, you let me know. So it made me feel like, you know what, Dad, I'm understanding what you were questioning. And so family, I'm here today just to get some information. I want to know from you what your thoughts are regarding love. What does it look like? Do we know what self-love is? Do we even know what love is in the beginning? I mean, we've been given this ideology of what love is. So if I go by that, I can say personally, I don't know nothing about that, because it's always been to me a little bit of a deception going on. It's always an agenda, I would say. That's just been my experience. Not everybody else's, I'm sure. No one else has felt that. I'm probably the only one that's felt that. I doubt it, but I'm gonna put that out there, like, I'm gonna put it on me. I'm the only one that's felt that. None of y'all have felt it, right? That when you say you love someone, that there's no agenda behind it. What is your intent behind your love? In your loving, what actions do you expect to see? What actions do you give that would depict what you would call love to someone else outside of you? But then there's the other part of, how do you love self, and how can you love outside until you can love within? So these questions have just been, kind of coming up to me this month. And I can tell you that this month was very challenging emotionally for me. And I was really kind of in a space of just mistrust, in a space of doubt when it comes to speaking and then actions that don't follow. I am from the show me state like my dad. My daddy was the type that he wasn't the type that verbally told you that. He just did things. And if you couldn't equate his actions as love, to him, I guess that's on you. So for me, when I had high expectations, put it that way. I had high expectations. I always do. I always have high expectations of interactions when it comes to my family. To me, if I'm giving my best, I'm expecting in return your best. That's my expectations. However, that's my other part of the control. And you can't control what others are going to return to you. But because of old patterns, old mindsets that kind of returned. It had me in a way of, this is not cool to me. I'm not happy. I'm not feeling the love. And the only way that, for me, that I feel the love is through your actions, not through what you're talking about. Because I do know that for our family specifically, or my family specifically, we're great orators. We can talk so wonderful. The words that we use is just beautiful and butter, and we're just, we make other people feel good by our verbiage. But you ain't got no backup. You ain't got no action behind it. You fall short in your action. And for me, I've always tried to keep that balance. Being a Libra, I'm going to be a balanced person. So I don't like to put anything on me that's going to be beyond what I can do. That's just knowing and learning and still discovering myself. But as I continue to grow and continue to learn and continue to evolve, this month had me, I felt like I went back in time to the old pattern mindset, and I allowed that mindset to take hold. So when I tell you all the cleansing and detoxing that I'm doing is bringing up stuff, it comes up when I least expect it. Because I'm thinking all this stuff is going to come up when I'm actually doing an actual fast and a detox and stuff like that. Sometimes it don't happen that way. And so I can honestly say it did not happen that way for me this time. It was just things that was happening just simultaneously. I was so hurt and disappointed that things that I had implemented or wanted to implement was not met with the same, or received or given back in the same way which it was given. And that was, and maybe being misunderstood, I don't know. At the end of the day, I still was thinking in this love, because I'm doing this out of the love of my heart, what I think is love. So now I had to question, well, what is love? And what does love have to do with anything? So, family, I'm asking you, how do you self-love? I even had to ask my own self, how am I going to love myself when I keep allowing somebody outside of me, whether it be family, boyfriend, girlfriend, why am I still allowing someone to take control of my own emotions, and I go off into this tangent to the point where I made my own self literally sick? And I had to catch myself because I didn't feel the sickness right away. But eventually, I started to feel sick. My first brain, this gut, spoke. And that's when I had to put the brakes on and go back to the mindset of, wait, how do I get myself out of this? Stop, as my daddy would say, I had to stop, look, and listen. Because sometimes we're going so fast with things that's happening. You got to get this done, you got to get that done. And you can get overwhelmed with that. And so just planning certain things and all that kind of stuff, and things you got to do in life, period. And then trying to figure out this love thing all in the midst of all of that. And you're not feeling the love. The actions are not showing me there's any love here. So now I'm questioning, do you really love me? And if not, how do I love myself if you don't? So when my stomach started hurting, I had to go back and tap into my own self-love because I started to give my power away to something that I could not control, which is outside of me. So I had to say, stop that. And I had to go back to my own words of allow and release. At that point in time, I had to just talk it out to myself out loud that I'm going to have to allow and I have to release it. I've got to allow people to be who they are and then release it. I've got to allow this and stop trying to control something that I can't control outside of me. The only thing that I can't control is me and how I'm going to receive and react at the end of the day. And if I don't make sure that I'm still good, regardless of what anybody else does outside of me, I can't take that personal, but I did. Just so you know, I'm not perfect. And there are times when I will take things personal that I shouldn't take personal. It's not personal, it's not. But when things are going on and life is happening, and I will say that's probably one of the reasons why I hadn't been on, because I wasn't in a good space to even get on. I didn't have I just didn't have it. And so I just didn't come on. But I'm feeling a whole lot better now because I've gotten myself back in alignment, which I say because of the transitions that had happened, and I've kind of relocated and everything, and things had changed up for me. So I kind of felt like I was kind of up in the air without a safety net for, I'll say the beginning part of the month. I was just kind of floating around. There's so many new things that are happening that I want to make sure I'm prepared for, so that I'm not feeling like I'm in free fall. I want to feel like even in the free fall, I'm enjoying the free fall. So this process of even questioning what's love got to do with it, I'm going to put that out to you all. What does love look like? What does it feel like? How is it shown? Is there an action, or is it just only verbal? How do you even know that you love yourself? What does that look like for you? And how do you show yourself that? Because if you can't even do it for yourself, I can tell you personally, you're not loving anybody else. You're just doing the same old that, everybody else out here in the world has kind of showed you that that's what love is, because I tell you I love you, and baby, no, sorry. That's cosmetic. That has nothing to do with, at least for me, it has nothing to do with what really love is. And I'm still questioning that, because again, my dad was that kind of person where he asked the question, what is love? Because I'm still trying to figure it out. And he was older than me, so and it made sense that with everything that had happened and transitioned through this month, for me, it had me questioning the same thing. What is love? What is this thing called love? And what does it have to do with what I'm doing? What does it have to do with what I'm giving to other people? Am I really giving love to other people when I give of myself? Or is there an agenda behind it? Do I have expectations? Or can I just freely give love unconditionally and not, expect anything in return? Is that a real thing? I'm asking. Because the longer I'm living, it just appears to be that I don't love unless I'm expecting something in return. And whatever it is that you're giving in the name of love, you want to receive something back, right? I'm just asking questions here. So I really, really don't know. If you can help me out, I'm coming back with questions, family. I can't wait to see some of your answers down in the comments. What your thoughts are about love and what it looks like, what it feels like, Is it verbal? Is it action? Just help me out, because I'm in quest right now for what's love got to do with it. And with that being said, family, I am glad to be back. But this one I know is a little long because it's been a minute, and I kind of wanted to get that off and rant a little bit, but not really rant, but kind of go in of what was, kind of happened with me this month regarding love, since this is supposed to be Love Month. And it's Black History Month as well. So one of my ways that I showed myself love this month was when I had to allow and I had to release, so that I could feel good and that my insides, I wouldn't be making myself sick, stomach and head and all that, and not try to be controlling of anything outside of me that I have no business trying to control. That's the first thing. It's not my business. The only thing I can control, as I say right now, is me and what I'm going to allow and what I won't allow. And setting up those boundaries so that you're not making your own self ill behind old mindsets. Because I'll tell you, that's exactly what was happening with me. It was my old mindset that came right back, and I went right on in, and it was so easy for me to go right back to some of my old mindsets, because things started to look like the old. When I'm looking for new, I expect new. I want new. I'm putting new experiences out here. But if I'm seeing old patterns, then it's another reflection for me to go in and do some more detoxing and some more cleansing out here. This month, I'm grateful for it because it made me aware. I'm not that upset about it, but it didn't feel good while I was going through it. I'll put it that way. The process of it wasn't all that cool. It happened. What do we do from here? How do I keep going? Because I can't stay here. That wasn't cool for me. I didn't like the way that made me feel. And I want something new. And I'm putting new experiences, new ways of loving and seeing, and new ways to practice love for me. And whether my family or loved one or whoever is accepting or non-accepting of that, I no longer can control that, and I no longer wish to control it. I'm at that point now where I'm learning to get at that point, because I'm not at that point yet. I'm working to get to the point where I will continue to allow and release. I'm so thankful for the tools that I had, that I was able to say, stop right there. Because this is not where you want to be. It's not what you want for you. So it's time to stop, take a step back, look at the situation, assess yourself, and then what do I need to do to make sure that I'm good? So that was one of my ways of showing myself love. What are you going to do to show yourself some self-love? And what does that look like, feel like, and taste like? I'll tell you one thing. For me, when I decided to allow and release, my stomach felt better. And anytime that I feel good on my body, that's love for me. So with that being said, family, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, hit the word all so that you're notified anytime that I post a video. And with that being said, family, have a fantastic day. Love you to life. Peace.